In the headlines, tension simmers as protests erupt in Gaya over dissolution of emirates. Many feared dead in Lagos mosque collapse. 2 Kogi University students killed in captivity. On the foreign scene, Burkina Faso junta extends transition term by 5 years. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining. Now, the news in detail. Residents of Gaya in Kano State protested on Sunday against the state government's dissolution of the Gaya Emirate. This move follows the amendment of the Kano Emirate Council Law of 2019 by the NNPP-controlled House of Assembly, reversing former Governor Ganduje's creation of additional emirates and the dethroning of the 14th Emir of Kano. Governor Abba Yusuf signed the amendment into law on Thursday, instructing emirs including Aliyu Ibrahim Abdul Kader of Gaya to hand over to Deputy Governor Abdul Salam Gorzo. The dethroned emir vacated the palace on Thursday night without resistance under the watch of armed security personnel. On Sunday, residents took to the streets with placards and anti-government slogans accusing the government of political motives and demanding the reinstatement of their emirate. This feels like an injustice to our community, said resident Abubakar Shuaibu. Governor Yusuf has yet to respond, but the government indicates that dissolution aims to centralize control and streamline traditional leadership in Kano State. The situation remains tense as communities await further clarification from state authorities. We're now joined by the Media Trust Northwest Bureau Chief Ahmed Detti to give update on the situation. Ahmed, good evening and welcome to the news update. Yes, protest in Gaya Emirate. Tell us how this started and where we are currently as regards to the uprising.
Okay, good evening, Sagir. I'm actually at the moment at the Nasarawa Mini Palace, where also protest was held just a few moments back. But also, yes, protests also are taking place in Gaya. It was peaceful, and then in Orano Emirates. I learned that the protest was after a special prayer to invoke a divine intervention in this emirate also.
All right, Ahmed, has there been any word from the other emirates that were also dissolved? Are we hearing words of a similar protest going on there?
Sorry, please come again.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, I can hear you.
Okay, so I said there's been a protest in Gaya. What about the other emirates that were dissolved? Are we hearing anything regarding a protest going on there?
So far we had Gaya and Rano. Gaya is actually about 100 kilometers away from Kano. So also Rano, yes.
Okay, upon your conversation with the protesters, what are they demanding aside the reinstatement? Do they agree to some sort of compromise?
I think they are just expressing their displeasure over the dissolution of the Emirates.
All right, Ahmed, as at the time that this report came in, the governor was yet to respond. So far, have we gotten any update from the state government?
There is none at the moment, but there are also new developments. Like I said, I'm at the Nasara Mini Palace, where also the kind of protest within few moments taking place. It almost turned violent because the protesters were burning tires, but quick security intervention actually save the situation probably from degenerating, because at the Nasarawa Palace there are heavy presence of security personnel, military, police, civil defense corps, and even DSS. But everything is normal. You can hear from the background vehicles moving on the state road, and people are here, cola sellers, pure water, Osachi water sellers, and other people are just sending in from the palace. And there are also people going in and out of the palace.
All right, Ahmed, we still expect, of course, some sort of reaction from residents of this emirate. However, has there been any word from the camp of the two emirs at the moment?
There has not been any. The Emir Sanusi in the palace has this morning held a court, receiving title holders and district heads, coming to pay homage. And I learned that there were some cabinet members also at the palace, including interim chairman, interim local council chairman, also with the emir at the palace. Similarly, at the Nasarawa Palace, people also come to pay homage to the emir. But at the moment, the emir is in the inner chamber of the palace, so people can just go in, but they don't have access to him.
All right, I'm a Dirty Media Trust Bureau Chief for the Northwest. Thank you so much for the update, and we do definitely hope to hear from you as soon as more develop.
Thank you very much.
And residents of Bauchi State have again appealed to the federal government to look inward and come up with modalities to address the multiple challenges bedeviling the country, especially the cost of foodstuff. Trust TV's Adamu Imam in this report examines how some people struggling to starve of hunger in the midst of a troubled economy. Take a look.
The economic reality is hitting hard on Nigerians who are struggling to feed members of their family since the removal of fuel subsidy last year. Malam Shehu, a retired civil servant, explained his current experience in the area of food prices.
Please, I reappeal. Our leaders should fear God and do what is right to salvage this country. Today, price of maize is 700 to 800 naira. This maize you see, I bought it 800 naira per measure, and almost over 17 people on my board waiting for me at home. For just 2 measures, I'm on the queue for over 1 hour to get grinded before going back home.
Shehu noted that the hardship has spared no one as hunger does not segregate, affirming that they are tired of looking forward to a leadership that will tackle Nigeria's problems head-on.
I have not decided. Even they would bring ballot box to my doorstep, I will not participate in any elections to elect our leaders. This is not the first I witnessed election since the era of President Shehu Shagari. Nothing has changed. The good of the masses. I engaged in farming, but only yesterday is better than today in this country.
Yes, we are suffering. We are feeling the heat because our husbands don't have so much. They are always struggling to ensure that the family eats. Now we have joined the search for food so that everyone can survive.
We always strive to satisfy our customers, but you cannot predict people. We always advise them to look after their grains while on queue. Electricity supply here is nothing to write home about. Honestly, things are not easy.
They, however, appeal that while government is working out modalities for long-term solutions, short-term measures like palliative distribution will help ordinary Nigerians in the meantime. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
President Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerians to remain patient amid the current economic hardship, assuring them that this temporary sacrifice will soon end. Speaking at the 60th anniversary celebration parade of the Nigerian Air Force in Kaduna, the president pledged continued support for modernizing the NAF's capabilities to enhance national security. He highlighted the federal government's substantial investment in state-of-the-art multi-role combat helicopters and other platforms to boost the NAF's effectiveness, commending the aerial display and combat readiness of NAF personnel. Tinubu noted their dedication to duty and reiterated that security is a top priority for his administration, as development cannot thrive in an unsecured environment. He emphasized the need to adopt a societal approach to understand and address contemporary security challenges. Tinubu congratulated the NAF on its 60th anniversary and prayed for the repose of the souls of those who paid the supreme price in service to the nation, reaffirming his commitment to supporting the NAF and the armed forces in the quest for peace and security. Tragedy struck in the Papa Ajao area of Lagos State following the collapse of a mosque in the community on Sunday afternoon. It was learned that many were feared dead while some were injured. The mosque collapsed during afternoon prayers. Several bodies have been recovered from the rubble, while many more are feared to be trapped. Contacted Public Relations Officer of the Lagos State Emergency Management Authority, Lasema Nosa Okumbo, confirmed the incident to Daily Trust, saying rescue mission was ongoing. And the police command in Kogi on Sunday confirmed the killing of 2 of the abducted students of Confluent University of Science and Technology, KUSTEC, Osara. The State Police Commissioner, Bertrand Onoha, disclosed this when he spoke with newsmen in Lokoja. Onoha described the killing by the abductors as very unfortunate. The CP, who did not, however, give details of the killing, said the security operatives were on the trail of the abductors to bring them to book. Recall that abductors invaded the school around 9 p.m. on May 9th while the students were studying in their classes ahead of the examinations slated for May 13th, and abducted some students after shooting sporadically in the air. Although security agencies had rescued 21 of the abducted students with the help of local hunters, a few were still in the hands of the abductors. Still, suspected bandits have kidnapped a driver and 3 other passengers who were traveling to Iruakoko in Akoko Northwest local government of Ondo State. The travelers were abducted on Saturday while en route to Irun through Imesi town, a close border community with Ekiti and Ondo states. Reports say the victims were mostly residents of Irun and Ikare Akoko who were returning home after a function. Although details about the kidnap case were still sketchy, it was, however, learned that joint security operatives have swung into action and are currently combing the bush for their release. The police public relations officer in the state, Fumilayo Odunlami, said she is yet to be briefed about the case, but confirming the incident, the Ondo commander of the Amotekun Corps, Adetunji Adeleye, said his men are on the trail of the bandits. And parts of the Kaduna-Abuja derailed on Sunday morning around Jere, raising concerns about possible attacks by insurgents. Report, however, said the situation was brought under control by technicians who quickly disengaged the part and realigned the train. It was gathered that troops of the Nigerian army swiftly arrived at the scene to aid policemen attached to the train security passengers and the coaches. Passengers were pleased with the presence of security agencies, a situation that restored confidence and allayed fears of the unknown. Watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. Celebrating cultural heritage through historical relics and symbols. This and more after the break. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the headlines again. Tension simmers as protests erupt in Gaya over dissolution of Emirates. Many fear death in Lagos mosque collapse. And operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, have arrested a 48-year-old Paris-bound businessman, Emmanuel Okechukwu Ojinze, for ingesting 111 wraps of cocaine. Ojinze, who later excreted the illicit substance after days of observation in the agency's custody, was arrested at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Naya, Abuja. Okechukwu, who also claims he is a professional footballer in Europe, was arrested on Tuesday, 21st May, during the outward clearance of Air France flight AF 878 from Abuja to Paris, France. A statement issued by Femi Babafemi, NDLEA Director, Media and Advocacy on Sunday, said after a body scan confirmed he ingested illicit drugs, he was taken into custody where he excreted a total of 111 pellets of cocaine that weighed 1.603 kilograms over a period of 3 days. The suspect claimed he does business in the maritime sector while still scouting for any European football club to engage him. One of the major attributes of most ancient Yoruba towns in the southwest of Nigeria is their ability to protect their territory against external aggression. As part of ways to keep the memories of their sacrifices, palaces of Yoruba traditional rulers are adorned with statues of warriors. Hamid Oyegbade in this report takes a look at one of the statues at the palace of the Ilobu of Ilobu. Let's take a look.
Apart from their roles as custodians of Yoruba culture and tradition, many Yoruba traditional rulers were warriors. The founder of Ilobu town, headquarters of Irekpodun local government area of Osun State, Laarosin fought gallantly during the Fulani invasion of Yoruba land and conquered. The Erinle River, popularly known as Ojutu, is one of the defense mechanisms of Ilobu, helping the town to defeat enemies.
Ojutu River is very important to Ilobu community, and that is why we call it River in Erinle. And that is why the spirit of Erinle is worshipped annually during the Erinle festival. That is how important Erinle is.
This is Laarosin. You can see him physically. Look at his gun. See him physically. Look at how he dressed. He's a warrior. He assisted Yoruba community during Fulani War, and we conquered.
The statue of Laarosin is one of the relics of history at the palace of Olobu of Ilobu, Oba Ashiru Olaniyan Olatoye. Indigenes say Ilobu witnessed tremendous growth and development in the 50-year reign of Oba Ashiru Olatoye Olaniyan.
God has blessed Ilobu with a natural defense structure. Ilobu is never an aggressor. In fact, that's part of the foundational process of Ilobu, that we don't go out of our way to attack people. But if anybody raise hand against us, God has divinely provided the protection, and that has been working. Even the recent issues that we experienced, you can testify to it. We were not the first attacker, but anybody that raised up hand of aggression, God has divinely provided protection for us, and it has never failed.
Indigenes here have committed themselves to the task of continually cooperating with the leadership in order to take the town to greater heights. Hamid Oyegbade, reporting for Trust TV.
And away from Nigeria, Burkina Faso's military rulers will remain in power for another 5 years after national talks ended in agreeing to extend the transition back to democracy by 60 months from July, according to the text of an approved new charter. Colonel Musa Diallo, chairman of the organizing committee of the National Dialogue process, disclosed this after the talks on Saturday. The new charter was signed during what was originally a 2-day national dialogue that began earlier on Saturday, ostensibly to chart a way back to civilian rule in the country rocked by political violence. The military seized power in a 2022 coup and has promised to hold elections in July of this year to restore civilian rule. But it also said security considerations would take priority. The charter also allows Traoré to run for president when the elections take place. Under the new accord, quotas will also no longer be used to assign members of traditional party seats in the assembly. Instead, patriotism will be deemed the only criterion for selecting deputies. And in sport, the Golden Eaglets' unbeaten streak ended with a narrow 1-0 defeat to Ivory Coast in the semi-finals of the 2024 WAFU B Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers at the University of Ghana Stadium. The loss means they miss out on the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Ivory Coast capitalized on a defensive error to score in the 55th minute with Yuba Koulibaly netting the only goal after his initial shot was saved. And despite several attempts, including chances by Simon Klitos, Abdul Muiz Adeleke and Imran Mohammed, Nigeria failed to equalize. Coach Manu Garba praised his team's effort but emphasized the need for better finishing. The Golden Eaglets will now focus on the third place playoff while Ivory Coast advances to the final. And that wraps up the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social platforms and catch our live stream on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I'm Sakir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.